All right, welcome back to J&J Dynasty. Today we're going to talk about early July drafts in MFL for 2024, I guess. Hoping to make this my best video so far this year. I've been a little bit slow, haven't been doing as much as I wanted. So we're early into July, so I've got a couple July drafts that came off now. My last video, in case you noticed it, I had a couple typos in there. So I fixed them. This should be a better, slightly different numbers from last time. Kind of want to get a little bit more in depth as far as some players that I like, some players that I don't. This is going to be quarterback heavy as far as where you can should or would draft quarterbacks. So that's why my quarterbacks are going to be displayed extra. So, or quarterbacks, I should say. So, without further ado, click the like, subscribe to the channel. Offer up any comments. Let me know if any of this information is actually helping you, because that's why I'm putting it out there, is to actually help people with their drafts, to be able to move back and forth, get guys that they like, whether it's guys I'm talking about, whether it's guys I like. At least you're getting the information directly from real drafts, what's real happening, not the crappy ADP that you're looking at other places. This is the real ADP on real drafts, real money leagues, $50 and $100 leagues. I think is every one of these leagues in MFL in particular. So, all right, let's get into this. Right, do that one. So again, when we get into this thing, there's going to be some differences. You're going to see a column, and then as we go this way, it's going to be, I think it's a blue, black, orange. Each one of those denotes a different month. Then you're going to have the red ADP, and then you're going to have the black ADP, and then you're going to have the orange ADP. That's going to also correlate to the months. So you can cross-reference those if you wanted to, the colors with the actual numbers and how many times they were drafted in those leagues. One last bit of housekeeping. Had those couple little errors, and then I also did not have a draft in June that actually started in June, so I put it in June because it started like the last day of June, and it was a July draft last year, I believe, and so now it was a June draft this year. So I had to add one more to June, but this is 3 new drafts that we're going to be adding on to this, and we're going to go from there. So, okay, here we go. So round 1, as you can see, it's blue, black, like yellow. The red is the overall ADP. You'll see that on the last slide, and I got the league names underneath them, so I don't duplicate them and go from there. So that's why it's kind of doing that. So, all right, let's get into this. And as you can see here, the first 3 are pretty much chalk. 1, 2, 3. And you've got a little bit of a space there for Bowers and Jonathan Brooks, because those two go together at the 5th and the 4th and 5th spot. So they're both averaging right at 5.5. Interchangeable if you're at 4 and 5. You take whoever you get at 6 for one of those 2 guys. Caleb Williams right there is kind of a little bit by himself, but not really. He's at 7.1 along with Brian Thomas Jr. So to me, that's kind of a tier break there too. Again, so you've got those 2 guys, so you can flip flop them, and that's probably about right from what I'm seeing and feeling with drafts and stuff like that. I made a video earlier that I thought, after Brock Bowers, then it should have been the 3 wide receivers, but these 3 guys are sliding up, and Brian Thomas is the start of those 3 receivers. As you can see, Thomas Worthy and McConkey together there, and that goes right into Keon Coleman. So you've got into Troy Benson. So you've got that big block there from 8-2 to 9-9, basically just over a point separating 4 or 5 draft choices. So I see them as a big block, and then you have Jaden Daniels at pick 12, solidly coming in at pick 12. So again, Caleb Williams is the #1 quarterback. I had discussions with a guy who wanted to draft Jaden Daniels ahead of Caleb Williams. Talked him into trading back. Caleb Williams went the pick before, then he got his Jaden Daniels next, and I think he traded all the way back to pick 10 or 9 or 10, whatever it was. So that was one of my friends that was drafted in one of the leagues based off of the ADP. Like, again, I hope this information is helping you. And as you can see, far to that side of the page, way over there, you've got the red, the black, and the orange. I didn't do a blue. the blue line was May. You can see the blue 1 is the average. So I didn't do an ADP on that because it's only 1. All right. All right, so let's keep moving on here. So that's round 1, and I want to more so focus also on this video as far as tier breaks and where guys are breaking with their videos, right? So if we get into, this is round 2 now. So Daniels was at 12-2 or 12 point something, and now Corum's at 13. So there's almost a point separating, a point and a half going from Corum to Presley. So 12 and 13 should basically be Daniels and or Blake Corum in that respect. And then Ricky Purcell is by himself. And then you have a nice big cluster there with AD Mitchell, Lloyd, Wright, is it Leggett basically in there? And you can even, they really get. So you've got, what, 4 guys there, and they're all within a point and a half of each other. So you pick and choose your poison right there and kind of go about it from that. Then you also have Jalen Polk and then Drake May, Jermaine Burton, and JJ McCarthy. Obviously, we got JJ McCarthy up there. For a while there, he was JJ, before the July numbers came in, JJ had jumped Drake May for 1 draft, and then it went back. And now JJ's been sliding a little bit because he had a little bit later draft picks. Yeah, with that pick 14, I think he had jumped Drake May, but put the 1 June draft in and the other 2 in, so he slid back a little bit again. And then also at that point, Jermaine Burton has now jumped him also. So yeah, you can see that because McCarthy was at 24 the last couple drafts. He's at averaging 27. So it doesn't take a whole lot. Like I said, these guys, I want to know this information so that way I can get within 3 spots to draft them of where I know that they should be, or maybe a little bit before if I'm scared that somebody's going to go wild card on me. Like Corum did there, somebody drafted Corum at 5, somebody drafted Corum at 9. To me, Corum shouldn't be in the first round, but I mean, people have done it. So you got to watch out in your drafts. You have to know your league. You have to know if there's a manager who is running back crazy. If Benson and those guys are gone, Benson and Brooks, somebody may jump up and grab Corum because he's obviously the first running back going off on average with these numbers. So yeah. So and then you got Ben Sinnott, and I don't understand why everybody's drafted him so high, and Roman Wilson. I'll say it again with Ben Sinnott. He's a young tight end. Usually takes tight ends a while to break out. Number 2, Jaden Daniels, to my knowledge, didn't really throw to any tight ends as far as check down. I think that's one of the big things in his game that I don't like with Jaden Daniels is that he doesn't check down. He doesn't take the easy stuff. He'd much prefer to run. And I hope that he doesn't pay for that in the NFL going from there. And then so the last one here in round 2 would be Roman Wilson. And as you can see right there, from Jermaine Burton even, 23.7, 23.9. Well, that looks like it's mixed up there. How did that happen? Did I not reorder them? But see, I mean, if you see mistakes like that in the video, please let me know. And that's most videos before this, I couldn't really see what I was saying, so I couldn't really look at the data. So right there, that looks like that's kind of backwards to me. Still got the bad eye. So, and now I got a window right here, so as you can see, it's getting brighter and darker. But at any rate, going from that. But that, you're looking at the back end of that 22.5, 25 or 25.2, 25.4. Those numbers are real close to each other. God, that's another one. It's either I made the mistake or I wasn't doing the sort right. Oh well, but that's why I put out the numbers and don't just tell you who it is so you can cross-reference that. I thought this would be my best video yet. It's not turning out to be so because I don't like the data. Not good, not good. So let's keep on rolling here. I mean, at least it's, just right there. So round 3. So Troy Franklin here's at 26 and then, 27 with Ray Davis, or 28 with Ray Davis. So it flows a little bit better on this part. Are there any anomalies in there? Trying to look, 38.2 versus 38. Sanders should be behind Estime. And so, I mean, these guys will flip-flop a little bit back and forth when they're so close with the average draft position. And that's why I have the decimal points on them so you can see it, and also, again, break it down for June and July. The July numbers will get more sturdy here with a couple of drafts that I know have started. here in the middle part of July almost, and they aren't done yet, so I haven't added them. But these were done about July 6th to the 8th is when these drafts ended. So that's why it's an early June draft results. But here, as you can see, Bo Nix is roughly about pick 29 overall for rookies. And typically it's not just rookies. That's why he's at 30 overall. Because somebody cut somebody that they shouldn't have typically, and somebody was picked up, right? Or somebody was out there, like the year Jordan Love was cut everywhere, and then he became the starter because they traded away Aaron Rodgers. So those type of things happen. But as you can see here, now these numbers are getting a little bit closer. In the next slide, they're going to start getting farther apart. But you got from 26 to 38, 12 picks for 12 players. So pretty standard. And you can see nobody's really fallen off as far as the average pick, as far as where they are as a rookie and overall. So rookie pick number 36 is equating to rookie or to average draft position of 38. It was rookie pick number 36 and it was average draft position of 52. That would be a lot of falling off, and that people would be much more willing to draft veterans over those guys, and those rookies would be probably the guys that you want to stay away from. So, but at this point, quarterback again, early third round, Bo Nix, looks like that's perfectly fine place to be taking him, right? All right, so let's move on to round 4. You guys can see all the names and the information. And round 4 is when Michael Penix comes in. So somewhere early round 4 would be a good place to take him. Now you got to remember, in a one quarterback league, he's probably going to sit on the bench for a year, if not 2. That's why he's this far behind. I don't think that he's a round 4 draft capital type of prospect, especially being that he was drafted in the NFL in the first round. But being that he's projected to sit for at least a year, if not 2, that's why he's falling where he's at. So as you can see there, we start here getting the Brendan Rice effect. I could call it or whatever, but you're pretty close there with the first 3 picks. Jalen McMillan, 39 to draft pick position 42. But then after that, Lob goes to 65, 75, 81, 127. So that really doesn't correlate to where their rookie position is. It correlates more to their ADP overall in rookie drafts. So even though they are rookies, they're getting drafted much later. They're getting drafted after defenses, kickers, and other waiver wire type players. So, I mean, that's about the line where I start not looking at players there or just taking a chance on them instead of a kicker or defense, because I personally try to never keep kickers and defenses when I'm drafted. I'd rather draft extra guys, especially this time or earlier in the year when we have a month and a half still to go for injuries and everything like that, and I can always pick up a kicker and a defense later. So I'd rather have the extra roster positions filled with players as opposed to kicker or defense, because you can always kick one of those or drop at. So this is your round 4 with Shipley, Penix, McMillan, Laub, Walker, Garendo, Rice, Theo Johnson, Reshi Ali, Washington. Wiley is getting a lot of love because he has had a good training camp and he's a prospect. But this is the problem, right? Where Jared Wiley is right now, that's where Bellinger was 2 years ago. Not last year, not last year, but the year before, and that he was supposed to be this late round tight end or mid to late round tight end that was really looking good. Had some injury issues, and now Theo Johnson's supposed to be more valuable than him, even though he's had more production, and he's been in the NFL for 3 years. I'd much rather take a shot at Theo Johnson than either Wiley or Theo Johnson, because Bellinger is a guy who is ready, willing, and knows the offenses already. I mean, Wiley's only going to be anything if Travis Kelce goes down, and we definitely don't want that to happen because we all want to win our fantasy football leagues with Travis Kelce. But he's a guy, Wiley might be a guy I might pick up at the end of the year, week 12, week 13 off of waivers, because he'll wind up back there again, stash him for next year when he might be more valuable. So once again, as you can see, their average draft position all the way across. All right, let's get to the final page here. So you got Cullen, Johnny Wilson. And again, when you see a 265 in there for a number, that means that they were not drafted in that league at all. So Spencer Radler in particular there, he was only drafted twice, in the May draft, and he got picked 38 in the one June draft here right at the end. Way over there. second last black column. So with that being said, you can see he's a 51st rookie off the board, but he's only literally been drafted twice, and his average draft position is 236. So he's basically not worth drafting, is what everybody's saying. My opinion also. Derek Carr goes down, get him off of waivers, and yeah. So, but this gives you just to sum up the bottom part of this here. You can see the numbers, every one of them, and you can see very at the bottom. You can see how I have 3-4 letters typed at the bottom. Those were the actual drafts that they came from, right? So that's all the information for everybody. Hope this helps you out. Which guys you should grab, which guys you shouldn't grab, guys to take a flyer on. Who's been taking flyers on guys in what drafts and how recently. A lot of times you can see if news came out on somebody, but that's the problem. There's no real news that's come out on any of these rookies this year, so you don't have real big fluctuations. So it's been pretty standard, pretty chalk for most of the thing. Slight deviations up or down, like we saw in the numbers where I sorted them and I fixed my numbers, and so they were slightly off, 1 or 2 spots. But that's why I do this, and that way you can get into the position where you need to get to draft these guys. So as I said, I just wanted to get this video out. I didn't double check the numbers, and you've got the basic information. Use it or lose it, either one. So like, subscribe, share, ring the bell for the new notifications. But I hope this information does help you guys, and I hope it helps you, number one, trade picks around this year and next year to get to the players that you want in a draft. Hope it makes you feel comfortable where you're at if you have those players, or that way if you need to make a secondary move, if you moved into a spot where you thought somebody was going to be and you could actually get them a lot later typically, or if you have to move up. I don't care which way you're moving. I just want to give you that information. All right, I guess that's going to be the size of this video. I'll let it go there, get the information out to you guys so you can use it. All right, until next time, you guys take care. From J&J Dynasty. Now, let me see if I can get this off of here. Oh, I got to do that. Yeah.